Can you find a truck and a dinosaur in the picture?
Right there.
Yeah, he's going out to find some trees. What's that?
I think that's another T-Rex.
T-Rex, does he have a tail like that?
Wait, no, I know what that is. That's a Apatosaurus, Brachiosaurus, or a Plodicus, or...
When I drew it, I meant it to be a brontosaurus.
I forgot about the...
But it could. I'm Laurie Lunsford, and I'm an interactive artist from Muncie, Indiana. I've written several children's books, and I love producing illustrations for the stories that I come up with. Doing art with others has been transforming for my life. It's just how I relate to people, and I think art can be a healing agent. I was greatly encouraged as a child in the arts. Mainly, my dad modeled creativity in everything. He created the most wonderful playground for us out of wood. Teeter-totters and sandboxes. I can remember very clearly when I was 4 or 5 years old, he would sit me on his lap and he would draw pictures. And he would ask me what I wanted in the picture, and then he'd draw it. Everything is connected with some big thing that happened in my life. So when my father was dying, I was sitting in the lobby waiting because he was asleep, and I was just sitting there. And there's a beautiful fall scene outside. I thought, I'm just going to paint this fall scene, get my mind off of my grief. Pretty soon, people started coming around me that lived in the nursing home, and they just started watching and talking to me and interacting. I asked one person if they wanted to try it. Oh, yes. So then they all wanted to try it. We passed the brushes around and shared them, and they all tried it, and they loved it. And I saw the value and the healing agent that art is. A couple years later, my mom started developing Alzheimer's. I hated to leave her, and I still wanted to do the art, and they actually had an activity director position open at the place. And I said, I want that position. I got to be with my mom every day, and my mom, of course, was active in everything that I did. My youngest son, when he was about in his early 20s, got started on drugs and ended up on heroin and probably many other things. It went on for about 10 years, and it was very, very horrible 10 years for me because I kept thinking I can fix this. I couldn't fix it. He was on the streets. I remember thinking, what if he dies? I kept thinking, what am I going to do? What can I do? You can't do anything, And I just had to give him over to God and just say, okay. I just had to let go of him. There wasn't one thing I could do. I watched him go through recovery. He chose to go through recovery, and he got through it, and then he started a recovery center in Anderson, and it's very joyful because my son has done well, and he's helping a lot of people get better. And when I go down to Florida, I take my art and I go into a place where he works with addicts, and I do art with him. He's real proud of me, and I'm proud of him. After my divorce, I was in a lot of pain. I really didn't know who I was. I wasn't a mom anymore. I wasn't a wife. I really was lost. I went back to my art. I thought, I'm going to prove myself. I'm going to prove that I can be Laurie and basically find out who Laurie was. And it took several years because I felt like a big nothing.
Since the divorce, my mom's become more herself and more free, I guess, so to speak, which is probably why she's gotten more into the art, been much more expressive. She does art with everybody, so she finds a way to adapt it to everybody in every situation.
I was in the airport, Fort Lauderdale Airport, coming home from visiting my youngest son. I I got in line to get on the plane, and all of a sudden...
Good evening, and we begin tonight with that horror that played out this afternoon inside the baggage claim at the Fort Lauderdale airport.
Shots fired, shots fired. Terminal 4. Shots fired, Terminal 4, shots fired, Terminal 4.
We found out there were shooters in the next terminal over. We all dived under the seats in the waiting room. They were shooing us out as many doors as they could find out on the tarmac. I looked up at the sky and I saw a beautiful sunset. And I thought, I've got my art supplies in my backpack. I started painting the sunset, and before long, there's a whole family came over and started watching me. I handed the girls a brush. I said, why don't you paint something? And so both girls started smiling. I don't think they knew anything that was going on except they were going to get to do art. I made a connection with this family through art in a very, very hard situation when everybody around me was very tense.
Yeah, we still need to do that. Welcome to the Recovery Cafe Muncie, guys, where we connect with love and ourselves and others, cultivate compassion, practice forgiveness, encourage growth, and give back. And we just have the honor of having Laurie here with us, doing these activities of painting, drum circling, and, you know, she bring life to the cafe. You know what I mean? She come to help the cafe as a volunteer. So she was volunteering her time. You know, then she come and she do other activities with us, like, you know, the drum circle and just things like that, you know. So just to have an open mind to try to empty oneself out so they can be refilled is a character I seen in Laurie that I really appreciated and am grateful for that she brings to the cafe.
It's very free. I can just go in and do whatever I want. I just go in and talk to people because I love people, especially people who are making themselves better. I find that recovering drug addicts, you see them start loving life, and they develop a hope, and they're full of gratitude, and they're very humble.
To me, she's like a female Bob Ross because her sales pitch is just so natural.
Sales
and
pitch.
Yeah, and she can draw.
don't have a sales
the
pitch.
drawing and the art's a bonus. Life is wonderful, and having Laurie in my life makes it even more wonderful. Even though we run across hard times, and we do, we have each other to fall back on. And anytime I'm feeling down, I'll talk to somebody like Laurie here, and she'll cheer me up with no effort at all.
I'm 71 years old, and I think people keep saying I appear to be younger than what I am, and it's because I spend time with children.
My mom is generous. She's caring. She's very, very creative. I mean, she's the neighborhood grandmother. There's not too many people that will welcome the whole neighborhood into her house like she does.
Art has become my life. It's how I communicate. And it's not just painting. It's poetry. It's how I open my house up. It's how I talk to people. Throughout my whole life, I've used art, and it's become a healing agent. It's helped me heal over the years, and it's helped others too.